Number 10. You believe the screen you are looking at is solid. You believe the heart beating in your chest is made of physical tissue. You are wrong. According to the mathematical universe hypothesis, published by MIT physicist Max Tegmark, reality is not merely described by mathematics. Reality is mathematics. Your body contains roughly 7 octillion atoms, but at the quantum level, they are entirely empty. They are nothing more than the cold intersections of variables within a colossal, sterile, geometric structure. There are no actual particles. There are no tangible energy fields. There are only abstract equations operating in total darkness. You are not a physical being experiencing the cosmos. You are simply a self-aware algorithm, mistakenly interpreting data as flesh and bone. If your entire life is just a formula balancing itself out, what happens when the equation is finally solved? Number 9, you trust your memories. You believe that yesterday actually happened, but what you consider the absolute laws of time and causality are merely temporary, local weather conditions in a highly chaotic system. Welcome to the Boltzmann brain paradox. Physics dictates that in a universe defined by infinite time and thermal fluctuations, a single self-aware brain appearing in a void is statistically more likely than an entire evolved universe. The average temperature of empty space is slightly higher than absolute zero at exactly 2.7 Kelvin. In this freezing, abyssal dark, it requires infinitely less energy for random particles to spontaneously assemble into a single self-aware human brain than it does to forge an entire 13.8 billion-year-old cosmos. The universe does not need to expend the colossal energy required to build a real Earth, a real sun, or real galaxies. It only needs to randomly generate a brain that believes those things exist. Statistically, the math is merciless. It is overwhelmingly more probable that the universe is entirely empty and you are just a momentary fluctuation of atoms. To grasp how fragile this makes your reality, picture a heavy, polished bowling ball. If that solid sphere represents the eternal timeline of the cosmos leading up to the final heat death, our entire history is nothing but a thin layer of mist left by a brief breath on its surface. A single, indifferent cosmic sneeze could wipe that mist away in an instant. This means your childhood, your family, and the screen you are staring at right now do not physically exist. They are false data. Fabricated memories imprinted into a spontaneous neural network that materialized in the vacuum exactly 1 second ago. You are a biological glitch. And the most horrifying part, in the very next moment, as the thermal fluctuation naturally decays, your consciousness will silently dissolve back into the deafening silence of the void. Number 8, you believe you are moving forward. You believe the space between you and the screen you are watching is a physical gap. This is a spatial hallucination. According to the holographic principle, the three-dimensional universe you navigate every day is a meticulously crafted projection. A groundbreaking 2017 study published in the journal Physical Review Letters by researchers at the University of Southampton analyzed the earliest light in the cosmos. They found hard observational evidence that our three-dimensional reality perfectly matches the mathematical models of a two-dimensional holographic universe. The underlying physics of this nightmare originates at the edge of black holes. The math dictates that when an object is consumed by a black hole, its information does not fill the volume inside. It is violently flattened. If a 150-pound human falls past the event horizon, their three-dimensional biology is completely eradicated, but their quantum data is perfectly encoded onto the two-dimensional surface area of the boundary. In this universe, information scales with area, not volume, and the entire cosmos obeys this exact same terrifying math. Imagine you are treading water in an abyssal ocean, terrified of the dark, crushing miles of depth beneath your feet. But the horrifying truth is there is no depth. There is no ocean. You, the Earth, and the most distant galaxies are nothing more than a microscopic, invisible layer of data painted onto a flat, two-dimensional wall at the absolute edge of reality. You are not physically traveling through the cosmos. You are just a localized data pattern shifting across a flat, cold screen. The system operates with absolute cosmic indifference. It does not care that you feel biological. It does not care that you feel real. You are a flattened equation, suffocating in a cage that has no volume. Number 7 and number 6. If the universe were born from a true, natural explosion, the fallout should be entirely random. The expanding debris of galaxies should be scattered without purpose, preference, or direction. But in 2013, the European Space Agency's Planck satellite returned data that shattered this fundamental assumption. It mapped the cosmic microwave background, the residual heat of creation, hovering at a sterile 2.7 Kelvin. What the data revealed was deeply unsettling. The universe has a preferred direction, an architectural backbone. Cosmologists call it the axis of evil. Vast, primordial temperature fluctuations in the deep cosmos do not behave randomly. They align perfectly along a specific cosmic trajectory, dividing the observable universe into distinctly unequal hemispheres. To understand how mathematically impossible this is, imagine dropping a massive glass window from the observation deck of the Empire State Building. When it hits the pavement, the laws of physics dictate the shards must scatter in a chaotic, unpredictable pattern. Instead, the Planck data shows the glass shattering and landing in a perfectly straight, meticulously organized line stretching across the entire span of the cosmos. This breaks the most basic pillar of cosmology. A natural universe does not have a structural framework. It implies that the void is not a wild, untamed vacuum. It has deliberate boundaries. That 2.7 Kelvin radiation isn't just the fading echo of a cosmic birth. It is the absolute minimum energy required to maintain the structural integrity of a computed cage. It is the idle hum of a machine. The statistical probability of this alignment occurring by pure chance is virtually zero. Mainstream science often dismisses this as a statistical anomaly because the alternative is a truth too horrifying to confront. The universe is not a natural habitat. It is an engineered construct. And humanity is just now beginning to notice the artificial seams in the walls. Number 5 and number 4. You perceive the passage of time as a smooth, continuous river. You believe the physical space in your living room is seamless. You are suffering from a biological delusion. At the absolute lowest levels of physics, reality breaks down into jagged, discrete pixels. The smallest possible distance in the universe is the Planck length, measuring an unfathomable 1.6 times 10 to the negative 35th power meters. Below this distance, the laws of physics as we know them break down. The shortest possible interval of time is Planck time, ticking away at 5.39 times 10 to the negative 44th power seconds. This means the universe does not flow. It updates frame by frame like a cold computational cellular automaton. Now, let us calculate your profound biological insignificance. It takes your human brain approximately 13 milliseconds to recognize an image. In that microscopic fraction of a second, your conscious mind experiences exactly one continuous moment of reality. But in that exact same 13 millisecond window, the foundational code of the universe has already refreshed and moved forward over 200 undecillion times. Every time you blink, the physical world is fundamentally erased and redrawn from scratch. Your nervous system is nothing but a pathetic biological glitch, operating at a processing speed so tragically slow that it entirely misses the gears of the machine, grinding away in the dark. You are not living in the present. You are a prisoner trapped in a perpetual lag, experiencing a sterile simulation that was deleted and rewritten trillions of times over before your neurons could even fire. Number 3. We assume the universe is a permanent fixture. We believe the room behind us remains solid when we turn our heads. Quantum mechanics reveals a truth that is completely incoherent to the human mind. In physics, the measurement problem demonstrates that reality does not exist in a definite state until it is observed. Particles remain in a suspended wave of probability until a conscious observer forces them to choose a physical location. This is not a mystical phenomenon. It is a brutal, algorithmic optimization. Rendering an infinite universe in high definition at all times would require an incalculable amount of processing power. Instead, the cosmos operates on strict resource conservation. The physical world behind you right now is not a solid structure. It dissolves into a mathematical fog, waiting for your biological sensors to force the system to render the environment back into existence. This engineered efficiency is hard-coded into the fundamental constants of nature. Consider the cosmological constant, the precise value governing the expansion of the void. If this number were altered by just 1 part in 10 to the 120th power, reality would instantly tear itself apart. Stars would never form, and the cosmos would be an empty, sterile grave. That staggering precision is not a natural coincidence. It is an input parameter. It is a specific variable meticulously calibrated within a physics engine to run a constrained simulation. We scream into the dark, begging for a sign of purpose, only to be met with a deafening silence. The system is not listening. It is merely saving memory. Number 2, humanity possesses a fatal, catastrophic flaw: arrogance. We believe that with enough time, our science will inevitably decipher the cosmos. We build particle accelerators 17 miles in circumference beneath the Earth. We launch $10 billion telescopes a million miles into the freezing dark. We thought we were mastering the physical world. In truth, we are merely inspecting the high-definition wallpaper of our digital cell. This is the suffocating trap of false falsifiability. To understand this inescapable deadlock, we must look to the ancestor simulation argument, published by philosopher Nick Bostrom at Oxford University. His logic is merciless. If any advanced civilization can simulate a conscious mind, and if computing power continues to compound, simulated universes will eventually outnumber the real one by billions to one. Statistically, the probability that you are a biological entity living in a physical base reality is practically zero. But the true horror lies deeper than the simulation itself. It lies in the paradox of human science. The scientific method relies on falsifiability, the ability to test a hypothesis against objective reality. But how do you test a system when your brain, your microscopes, and the very mathematics you use to calculate are all generated by the exact same system? Imagine a character inside a video game trying to prove they are in a game by smashing 2 digital rocks together. The rocks, the impact, and the character's digital eyes are all rendered by the exact same engine. Every test they run will return a perfectly simulated result. When our colliders smash protons together at 99.999% the speed of light, we are not discovering fundamental particles. We are simply pushing the local physics engine to its absolute processing limit. We are forcing the server to return a programmed error code that human arrogance proudly names quantum mechanics. Look at the universal speed limit. The speed of light is exactly 299,792,458 meters per second. Why would a natural infinite universe have a speed limit where nothing with mass can exceed it? It wouldn't, but a computed environment would. The speed of light is not a physical boundary. It is the maximum bandwidth of the universe's network. Nothing can travel faster because the system simply cannot render the surrounding environment any quicker. The server caps the speed to prevent the simulation from crashing. We are hopelessly dependent on a cosmic architecture we cannot see, operated by entities whose motives we cannot comprehend. These operators look down upon us with absolute cosmic indifference. They do not love us. They do not fear us. We might simply be an abandoned science project running on a dusty server in a higher dimension. There is no scientific breakthrough that will save us. There is no escape hatch. Every time we look deeper into the abyssal void, the machine simply allocates more random access memory to render a higher resolution image, keeping us docile and distracted. We are suffocating inside a sterile mathematical terrarium. We exist entirely at the mercy of a system administrator who could terminate our universe with a single keystroke. And if that happens, there will be no grand, catastrophic explosion. There will only be a sudden, permanent, and deafening silence. Number 1. For centuries, we believed our eyes were windows into objective reality. In 2019, cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman published a mathematical proof using evolutionary game theory that destroyed this final comfort. His theorem, known as fitness beats truth, proves that natural selection does not favor organisms that perceive reality accurately. It favors organisms that perceive reality usefully. If an ancient organism saw the raw, objective truth of the universe, the sheer mathematical complexity and chaotic horror of that data would paralyze it. It would immediately go extinct. Evolution did not design your brain to see what is real. It designed your brain to hide the truth so you could survive. Think of the computer desktop you use every day. You see a blue folder icon, but the folder isn't actually blue, and it isn't rectangular. The icon is a helpful illusion, a user interface hiding the incomprehensible voltage patterns and magnetic states of the machine's true code. Hoffman's mathematics dictate that your entire perceptual experience of reality is the exact same kind of interface. Physical objects, the passage of time, the three-dimensional space of the cosmos, none of it is real. They are just evolutionary icons. A three-dimensional desktop generated by your brain to keep your genes propagating. You cannot look beyond the interface because your consciousness is the interface. Every $10 billion telescope we build, every deep space observation we make is just us zooming in on the pixelated icons of a biological operating system designed to lie to us. We are not discovering reality. We are navigating a map that was never meant to match the territory. And the territory beneath is something no human mind was built to survive. We pride ourselves on being the great, noble explorers of the cosmos. But the most terrifying truth is this: you are not exploring a physical universe. You are nothing but biological malware, desperately interacting with a user interface specifically designed to deceive you. Thank you for watching and sticking till the end. We've got plenty more videos coming in the future. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss them. See you in the next one.